Hello, and welcome to the Rock Metal Podcast. I'm your host, John Harris, and today on the Rock Metal Podcast, we have Raptors. They have a new album called Raptors Self-Titled, which released on October 8th. Right now, I'm being joined by Ike and Damien to share some more information about this stellar release. So, boys, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
What's up? Thanks, John. Thanks for having us, man. We're excited to be here.
Absolutely. I'm excited because you have a T-Rex behind you.
Yeah. That's our Jurassic California flag. Flying the Velociraptor back there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I apologize to Velociraptor. I did not mean to offend him by calling him a T-Rex.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. We love all dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I was going to make a joke about dinosaur lives matter, but then somebody's going to get upset. So.
People are too sensitive for that right now.
I think they are. Like, well, what's wrong with dinosaurs, huh?
Yeah. You're in a safe space here, John. You can say whatever you want, man.
Good.
We're good. We got a good threat.
That's right. That's right, baby. I was going to make a joke about a clever girl, but that's another story. And there probably is a good story behind that. So let's start with the stories. Let's go to this album as a whole. Self-titled album, I'm speculating debut release.
It's actually, it's our second album, but I guess it could be considered a debut because it's a new lineup. It is a bit of a departure from our last record just because... because of that lineup change, I was originally the drummer of this band, and now I'm playing bass. And that was kind of just, we couldn't find a bass player, that we felt confident with. And I just, was like, I'll learn that because I know we have a great drummer, as a friend that we can bring in. And so at first it was kind of like, because it was hard for me to step away from drums for sure. But, Ike and myself were brothers, and we've been playing together for, at this point, 20 years. And we've constantly been in the same band. So it was definitely something where it was a big decision, or at least we felt like. And so when we changed the, new drummer, I started playing bass, and we kind of, just had a different sound a bit. So, it's definitely always been Raptors,
Yeah, but I think it created an opportunity for us to kind of step away from the style of music that was popular at the time and really just expand and do what we want, like play the music we wanted to play. So having a new lineup, right, as it wasn't too huge. We just added a drummer and he moved to bass, but it gave us an opportunity to kind of recreate ourselves. And I think that's what this album really portrays, is the music that we want to be playing. It's still edgy, tough, fast, but a little more melodic, a little more soulful. So
okay, edgy but fast, but more soulful, more melodic. This sounds like a romance novel, guys. He was tough, but he was soft.
Yeah, right. I know.
So now we're gonna get onto the lady chat with right. The De La Torre boys.
Right? Talk a little more sexy.
Yeah, we have a candle we can light.
Turn it into a lighthouse. This is our candle for romantic evenings.
Exactly.
Because it's hunting season over here at Raptors.
Yeah, what's up, dude? John, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
So smooth.
Now, something that you mentioned that I thought was really interesting is, all we did was change up the bass and the drums, and it's kind of funny if you think about it from a production standpoint. How many times on a record do you listen to, is it actually a drum machine, or is it MIDI bass, a keyboard, somebody who isn't the bass player, the producer? It happens so many times, but here you just said it really changed a lot, and it certainly can. So, I guess maybe take us through that. How does the drummer drum differently than you, and how do you play the bass differently? Do you think of, I'm thinking Dave Grohl thinks of playing the guitar like it's a drum. Do you do the same thing with the bass?
I think this is the thing. I think even when it came to me being a drummer, I just loved music, and I was like, I just want to start a punk band. I just want to play music. And I wasn't like super, technical. I just had my own style of playing drums, and a lot of energy behind it. So when I moved to bass, obviously, I didn't play bass before that. I messed around with guitar or bass or whatever, but never really actually played. So there was a learning curve for at least 3 months where I was, just trying to figure out what it is that was so different to me. But like you said, I pretty much play bass like I would play drums. So, instead of just playing, the back, the rhythm and just kind of chugging along, I really do try to add something to it where it's not taking away from the song, or it's not trying to like.
Well, you're throwing in some like Matt Freeman bass lines, like Chris too, like esque, you know. But I mean, obviously those guys are amazing, right? And you're amazing too. It's great to see that growth in you as a bassist. But Cody, who came from the band Drive A and is playing drums for us now, the way you guys lock in, because you have that drummer knowledge, it's super cool. It makes everything so much easier for everybody else because you guys are so locked in. Then we have our two guitarists do all this wild shit over you guys, and it's. Yeah,
so I think that's the dynamic change is that now that I moved to bass, I know, like, when we were playing the older songs, I knew them exactly, like, every kick pattern, everything like that, so I could lock in easily. So I think that was the easiest way for me to transition to playing bass. And then once we started writing new stuff together, you know, I just kind of, like, was able to, you know, really pay attention to the drums and play with it. So I'm, you know, helping the drums instead of kind of making it all over the place. So I don't know. I guess the main thing is, like, I'm not a bass player. I just play bass. So
I think that's a lot of the cases for a lot of times. Sweet. All right. Something you mentioned there as well was locking in bass and drums because you're the drummer. So does that make you guys a unique rhythm section then?
I'm not sure. Well, yeah, I mean, definitely it makes it unique. I don't know if many people have that same history. I know it's happened for sure. You know what I mean? But I don't know if it's happened within the same band. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I think I'm sure we could list some, you know, like you said, Dave Grohl, like, even though he's not playing bass, he's playing guitar, and now he's the lead singer. There is that dynamic change, but it wasn't within the same band. And I think going from something like Nirvana to Foo Fighters, although it's in rock, it is totally different, you know, where I feel like, you know, him playing in Nirvana or even Queens is like, it's so much more primal. And I think his guitar playing in Foo Fighters is like more dynamic, you know, at least that's just my opinion. But I think now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, I think that does make, you know, our rhythm section pretty unique because it's within the same band, but also two drummers that are playing bass and drums. So,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You guys could do some like really gnarly stuff, like, I don't know, get two drum kits going at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we've talked about that. I think that would be really cool. We should try and definitely do that.
Mm-hmm. Bango, bango. Now, okay, so second album, I looked it up. First album was 2013, so it's been a little bit of time. Is that mostly because of the lineup changes?
We took a bit of a hiatus. So we put out the first album, we toured that, you know, then we did have just kind of a break where we got busy with life, with work, with all that, took a step back, and then we got back at it. And then we put out a couple singles, mm-hmm. right? And that was with the new lineup. So we put out the new singles, Lighthouse and Calypso. Those were farther on the melodic side for us. We were really experimenting with more like sing-along type music and just kind of breaking it down fast hardcore punk, right? So that kind of gave us this gauge. We're like, all right, let's find something in the middle of what we used to do to this very melodic kind of stuff that we're putting out now, kind of Menzinger's X, right? Like, yeah, I think that's kind of what this new album is. So, it's been,
and myself and Casey, who's our guitar player, and this is kind of, I guess, another thing that's maybe unusual is during that time we played in another band. And he was the bass player, and I was the drummer in that band. Mm. And he's an amazing bass player. I always tell him he's the best bass player in this band because he's amazing. He doesn't even have to play bass in this band to be the best. He's a really great musician in general, you know. So I think that's another dynamic is, you know, that he, you know, is originally a bass player and plays guitar. So there's just a lot of, you know, different elements to our band in general.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like you guys are pretty busy. I'm on your YouTube channel right now. So for everybody listening or watching in, down below in the show notes, I've got the band's webpage, raptorsband.com. And if you go there, you can click around. You can go to different areas. You can see a bunch of information they've got coming up. We're going to chat about this November thing that's going to be happening here, hopefully happening. And I went ahead and clicked on the YouTube channel, and looks like you got lots of stuff. So maybe too many videos for me to just post in the show notes, so I just might. But we've got lots of stuff here. You guys are pretty busy. An acoustic version. I'm guessing that's kind of like a quarantine thing of sorts.
Yes.
And then some proper music videos, official lyric videos. So this level of busyness, speaking going back to the pandemic, is this because of the pandemic? Like, I guess my question is, how does this album formulate a little bit differently? Did you guys take more time to do other things?
Yeah, we had a plan for this album. We were originally going to call it Jurassic California, like the flag behind me, right? And that was something that was almost in the works for almost 2 years, right? We wanted to release it as like a whole album, with just as itself. Then the pandemic hit, and we're like, you know what? Let's do a singles campaign, and then we're going to have one of our good friends who does my tattoos, his tattoos, and Mark in the band as well. We'll have her do tattoo flash for each artwork for each single. So we kind of ran with that idea, and she did such a great job. Her name is Sivorn Horn out of Just Deadly Tattoo in Pico Rivera. But she's the one who did all of the tattoo flash artwork for us, and even the album cover artwork for the final album that we came out with.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pandemic kind of made us get a little more creative, right? So we went with that. We stretched out these singles, and we even did a holiday special, which is the first time we've ever done anything like that. It was super fun. He dressed up like Santa and got wasted, and Mark and myself did a couple acoustic songs, which is like kind of out of the norm for us, but it was fun. So we think we're going to do another holiday special this year, just because the last one felt really, really successful. We got some good feedback from it. And yeah, doing music videos, I remember we did the music video for the title track, or what was going to be the title track, Jurassic California, with Todd Huber. We had to shoot that in the middle of the pandemic where everybody was separate, but we made it look like everybody was together. It was crazy, but I think it came out pretty cool. Todd did a great job with that. So yeah, I mean, to answer your question, the pandemic really made us kind of try and think outside the box and do more stuff that we probably wouldn't have done because we didn't have shows to play, and we just wanted to keep busy as a band. So like, what are we going to do? We put our heads together, and all this stuff came out.
I'm looking up Just Deadly Tattoo right now.
Oh yeah.
There's a King Taco right next to it, boys.
Yep. So it's good.
And a tattoo. Go on Taco Tuesday.
Go on Taco Tuesday, baby, to King Taco, but I'll get your ink done first.
Yeah.
You don't want to go to King Taco and then have to sit there for 15 hours is when you get...
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely.
It could be bad. You could have chorro.
Very good.
Which is like Mexican diarrhea.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Now, something I just mentioned while everybody's still thinking about it, John mentioned this November thing, and then we swiftly went on to King Taco and chorro and tattoos. So
not shitting your pants on the tattoo bed, yeah.
Exactly. Not shitting in the tattoo bed. Oh, you hit a nerve, and then it's gone. So it looks like, is this a tour? What exactly is this that I'm looking at here for November, or at least what it's supposed to be?
You want to take that one?
Okay, so November 6th, we're playing Punk in the Park. It's actually a festival, but I mean, every band on there, I mean, is great. So we're just honestly honored to be able to be a part of it. They just released the set times today, so we'll be playing I think at 1. So it's an all day thing. Similar to, let's say, like Warped Tour, because there'll be 2 stages. But it's obviously a little smaller scale because it's just, I think there's probably 30 bands.
Yeah, it's
something like that.
Smaller scale, but it's definitely one of those quality over quantity. A lot of great bands.
Yeah.
For sure.
So it's actually the first one, I believe. It was supposed to happen during the pandemic, and then obviously they had to postpone it. So this is the first attempt at doing it again. So
this way. They had another Punk in the Park in Arizona, which I rode my motorcycle out to, which was like a 6.5 hour ride for me. And it was amazing. It was like the first like punk show since everything was closed down. And I remember just like watching each band play, and especially when Pennywise hit the stage and they played Yesterdays, I was like, I wanted to cry tears of joy because it just hit me so hard in the chest. I was like, I've missed this so much, you know? I'm getting chills thinking about it right now. So to be part of this one out in our area in Santa Ana, like it means a lot to us, to say the least.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. We got Pennywise, we got NoFX. I mean, what's it like to be on the same flyer as these guys?
It's huge. Yeah. It's like one of those like dream come true moments, to just even be gracing the same stages as those people. So, it's so cool. I mean, obviously they are huge influences on the music that we write, on the music that we've been listening to for more than half our lives. Yeah. So,
I mean, growing up, those, were the two bands that were, in the same position they're in now. They're leading the way. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. So we've chatted about the new lineup. We chatted about the self-titled album, Raptors, out October 8th. So at the time that this is airing, it'll have been out and can be consumed anywhere that you consume music. Yep. We also spent a bit of time chatting about that rhythm section because you guys have a pretty unique rhythm section. Yeah. We finished up by chatting about Punk in the Park, which by the time this episode airs will already have happened, hopefully. And very excited to talk about, though, either way, happening in November. And as you mentioned, happen in Arizona as well. So I guess it's not like some festivals or whatever are like locked in a particular city or locale.
The markets, but this one is, they try to kind of move around, and get into different markets for sure.
Yeah.
Those punks. Sounds very punk of them. To do that. And then I guess my last question, just to sum it up, is if you could describe this album like in a Twitter post, the elevator pitch, what would you say about this record?
What I've been telling everybody is, to put it simply, it's Raptors in its purest form. It's what we've always been wanting to do, is what you're going to hear on this album.
It fits in Twitter, so that works.
Too many.
Should I do a haiku or no?
Yeah. Do a haiku. Leaves fall, sun sets, he's gone.
I'll jot one down. I'll email it to you.
Good. Everybody enjoys a good haiku.
Yeah.
Spiritual enlightenment.
There you go.
Fantastic. All right, gang. So everybody listening in show notes down below, go to raptorsband.com where you can click anywhere and go anywhere Raptors world. We've got a new album, Raptors, that is out October 8th, available everywhere you consume music. And also as well in the show notes below are a bunch of their music videos and lyric videos that you can check out. So guys, boys, thank you so much for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Awesome. Thank you, John. It's a pleasure. Yeah. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.